Hey Freedom Family, this is Mark, and I am so glad that you're here at _Freedom for Life _, where we give you the tools, the truth, and the knowledge to take you from where you're at to where you're called and created to be. And I gotta tell you, family, like no other week, I am excited about this week because the topic we have today is super relevant. The topic is there a happily ever after? Can I have the life that I've dreamed of and hoped for, or do I have to settle for what I have right now? So let's get started, shall we? Hey, and as we're getting started today, could you do me a huge favor? Could you become part of the Freedom family by subscribing? And do me a favor also, don't forget to hit the notifications. I don't want you to miss any of the conversations that we're having. And hit the like button if something that we're saying, a conversation we're having is resonating with you. And comments, right? Comments down below. Put something there if you want to have a subject, a topic that you want us to wrestle through together. You want to get some information. You want to figure out what the freedom journey looks like with it. And also down below, Facebook and Instagram, right? Our pages, the links to them are down there also. Go out and check us out on social media. One last thing, I'd love for you to put a comment in regards to our new surroundings. This is the new studio for Freedom for Life, or _Freedom for Life _. I'd love to hear what you're thinking about it. But man, let's get to this subject. Is there a happily ever after? I know what you're thinking, and I know what I'm thinking, which is, man, I really hope that there is. And my life and your life may look like this. We've grown up with happily ever after being the standard that we're supposed to be living up to. Whether it's in social media and everybody's Instagram amazing lives, or it's TV shows and movies that we're watching, or the stories that we grew up with as kids, right? Where somebody in an impoverished situation, they find the person that they fall in love with, a little bit of a challenge happens, and then they live happily ever after. It's interesting, the happily ever after never comes with troubles or issues or challenges. It's just left like that, as if challenges don't come along for them. And for you and me, I don't know, man. Is that the standard that you've heard? It's the standard that I knew growing up. And so this question bubbles up, and it says, hey, is there a happily ever after for me, or do I need to just deal with the life that I have? So I'm going to give you three things, maybe three insights into happily ever after, and then I'm going to answer the question at the end. So don't forget to stay till the end, because I'll give you the answer that maybe you haven't thought about, but the one that you need to hear. So the first thing is this, happily ever after. Isn't it interesting? I'm not sure in your life, but in my life, do you ever have those settle for people? You know, those people that you have your life and you're saying, man, I wish there was more, I wish I could have more, and they're the settle for people. Mate, you should just be happy where you're at. You should just be happy with, what you have. You should be grateful for that. Or, maybe you're dreaming too much. Why are you being such a dreamer? You just got to deal with reality. Do you know those people in your life? And so we have this dream, this vision of, hey man, this is what I believe my life is supposed to be. And then we have these people, I call it the crab effect, the people that want to pull you back into the group. Interesting thing, isn't it? In my life, what I've noticed is the people who are unhappy with their life and have settled for it are the same ones giving me advice, telling me to do the same. And straight out of my Life Mastery course, the Life Mastery course we have at Freedom for Life, I'll give you this tip, this little nugget of teaching. And it's for me and for you. It is this. I never listen to anybody who's not where I want to be. Not that I don't let friends give me input, but I don't let somebody who doesn't know how to drive my car. Just like I don't listen to somebody tell me how to lose weight when I see that they're not doing it. In life, the people that desire to settle for, I really want the best for them, but I won't let them determine whether I continue to dream and move forward in my vision. Maybe it's the same for you. Here's the other interesting thing. That's nugget number one. Nugget number two is this. Have you ever had life happen? For me, I've had life happen. Yeah, I told you in last week's video with this one right here. I'm 55, going to be 56. I've had some life happen. And I know if you're more than 2 years old, I bet you've had some life happen for you as well. And in my life, in your life, part of that happening has been things that have been challenging, things that have been hurtful, things that have been disappointing. And so again, I have this belief that there should be this great, amazing life that I'm going to have, maybe with somebody, maybe just accomplishing the things that I desire, whatever your happily ever after is. And then life steps in And it turns out, at least in the short term, in a way that I didn't expect and I didn't want. So how do you wrestle with that one when your life doesn't look like what you desire for it to look like? What decision do we make? Do we dumb down our dreams to match our experience? Or do we determine that our experience isn't going to dictate what we believe is meant for us and the things that we are supposed to have? Not supposed to because I'm privileged and I'm unique in that way, but supposed to have because I believe the desires that are on the inside are there for a reason. They're there to drive you towards them. Every person who's done great things has had great vision and great dreams. Everybody who's had a relationship that has been fulfilling and amazing and wholesome and awesome has desired it and invested into it. So what about those times when things don't go right? I don't think we do that. I don't think we dumb down our dreams and our visions. So this is interesting, right? I have what I believe is supposed to be the life I'm going to lead. I have people giving me advice, good, bad, and indifferent, and I have experiences in life that they don't always measure up. And what happens in our lives is we create this mindset, third nugget for you. And the mindset is our brain and our psychology's way of protecting us by putting these beliefs and these walls around us so we're not disappointed again. But I wonder in your life if it was like mine. As I was walking in my freedom journey, as I was living out life mastery before I created it as a course and a curriculum, there was this fire on the inside that said, I just know that there's more. I don't have proof. I don't have people telling me there is. I don't necessarily have belief all the time, but there's this fire on the inside that says that there's more. But the rest of my life doesn't show it. And so we battle against this mindset that says, well, shouldn't I have already seen it by now? Right? I got my bachelor's degree in my 30s. Shouldn't I have got it when I was in my 20s? My wife and I started and ran a successful business in our 40s, my 40s, and hers as well. And shouldn't we have done it when we were younger? We look outside of ourselves as a model for what our happily ever after looks like. I wonder if we're supposed to look inside instead. It really comes down to this. Let me introduce you to somebody. I had this picture, and I don't know if you see it, but this is me at 6 years old. And here's the question I have for you. I know when I was this age, as a child, I was bulletproof. I believed I could be anything that I desired. I believed my happily ever after was going to come through. The problem and the challenge with Mark at 6 years old was by the time he was 6 years old, he had already gained some beliefs that maybe weren't empowering him. He was already struggling in school with math. He was already told that he wasn't measuring up. Great looking kid though, right? And then he's moving forward, still believing, man, I can be anything I want and I get to have that life. Were you there when you were 6 or 7 years old? Do you remember when you were a baby, when you were a child, and how everything was possible then? But life happens. That Mark didn't know that when he was 17, he was going to dislocate his kneecap 4 months before he went to basic training. And he was going to have to go through the most intense pain and rehab he had to, just to be able to get to that place of doing that class. He didn't know he was going to have his appendix out that same year. He didn't know that the challenges of life were going to happen. I mean, we all have our list, right, of the things that happened that we didn't realize were going to happen. And sometimes after one time or 2 times or 3 times or 10 times, all of a sudden our happily ever after gets diminished a little bit. I wonder if, not in wisdom and intellect, but in heart, we should return to where we were at when we were 4, or were we 5 or 6, where we didn't know life was going to transform us into somebody who was going to limit themselves, settle for, somebody who was going to let their experiences determine their dreams. I wonder if we could go back to that place of saying, what if my whole life was a possibility and I could live it out in a way that would make my happily ever after come to pass? I think you had it for a reason when you had that desire on the inside. This is the life I believe I'm supposed to live. In fact, I'm lying. I didn't think so. I actually know so. There's a life that's created for you and you're created for. We say it all the time, right? Called and created to be. You're created for purposes that are yours and yours alone. This happily ever after, it may not look like what TV shows or your Instagram famous friends or people around you talk about. But there's a purpose and a desire and a design on the inside of you. Your happily ever after, that may be yours looking uniquely like you. That is still valid, and it's still possible, and it's still something you can reach out for and grab. Sometimes it starts by doing this, remembering how we used to dream before we figured out that sometimes the dreams don't come true. Because in knowing that, we find out that even that phrase is a lie. Why won't your dreams come true if you can't put your effort into it and be all that you're called to be in it? With hard work, intentionality, and the mindset of success, you could be anything that you desire. Walking in the freedom journey, dealing with the stuff that's standing in the way, the stuff that's getting in the way of your dreams, the belief systems. You deal with those, and anything is possible. Freedom for Life is here to deal with that stuff, the stuff that's standing in the way, right? The tools, the truth, and knowledge to take you from where you're at to where you're called and created to be. That part in the middle, the hurts, the wounds, the issues, the lies, that's the stuff that Life Mastery is going to deal with. That's the stuff that this course is created for. That's the reason why we have these videos, why we have social media, why we come to have a conversation with you every single week. Because there is stuff standing in the way, but you have a happily ever after waiting at the end of that journey. I guarantee it. It's the story of my life, and I know it can be the story of yours as well. So, question, is there a happily ever after? Absolutely. You already knew that or you wouldn't be watching this. Can you achieve it? I guarantee it. Because I'm nobody special, and I've achieved it in my life. So if I can do it, you absolutely can. And by the way, I know how to get you there. So do me this favor, if you desire to be coached, you desire to be mentored, you desire to have somebody help you get from where you're at to where you're called and created to be, don't just do these videos, although that's amazing and I'm glad you're in the family. DM me on our social media accounts and I'll answer, I'll respond, and you'll be on the road. And look out for Life Mastery. Your life will be changed forever, astronomically so, and your happily ever after will be at the other side of it. Hey Freedom Family, this is Mark. I am so glad you're here. At _Freedom for Life _ say it with me, where we give you the tools, the truth, and the knowledge to take you from where you're at to where you're called and created to be. Do me a favor, man, join the family. We have an amazing family. Join us by subscribing. And hit that notification bell. Let's have some conversations. I don't want you to miss out on any of them. And in comments, let me know, hey, first off, we're at about the decor. Second off, is there a conversation you want to have? And third off, is there something you'd like to chat about? And by the way, this video, share it. Share it with somebody you know who maybe needs to get their fire stoked. They need to remember their dream again. They need to move forward in going towards their happily ever after. And you already know social media, right? We have Facebook, we have Instagram. You can reach them. The links are down below. And I am so proud of you, but I need you to remember this. Dominate your day, Freedom Family.